Welcome to Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. In this series, I will be tasked with defeating every villain in order, progressing from the core set to the latest release. The catch? I'm only allowed to use cards released up until that point. After defeating the villain, they each will be ranked in terms of their difficulty, determined by the cards available at the time. Tune in every Tuesday for new episodes of Marvel Rewind. What's going on, guys? It's Char here, back with another episode of Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. Now, in today's episode, we're on to the fourth scenario in the Mutant Genesis expansion box, Mansion Attack, which has us taking up the fight against not one villain, not two, not three, but four villains, what some might even call a Brotherhood. All four of these villains against none other than Rogue, Anna Marie, the X-Men. Let's get down to the table and see how it goes. Okay, so here we are with Mansion Attack Brotherhood, whatever you want to call this scenario. This scenario is pretty interesting, and as usual in Marvel Rewind, I like to try and set up the villain before getting into the winning attempt, or maybe two attempts if it was really short. The problem is this is random every time you set up this villain, so we will just kind of explain to the best of our ability, and then when we cut to the actual thing, we're going to have to do the villain setup for real. So let's just randomize it and see for this setup how it would normally work. Okay, so here we are. We have the Brotherhood scenario. So this is kind of a take on like a multi-villain scenario. Essentially, in order to win in this scenario, we must defeat three of the villains in expert mode. So there's this stack of villain decks, and the order they come out is randomized. You like shuffle them up basically, and then whichever one lands on top is the one you start against. So for example, you are pretty likely to hit 3 out of these 4 effects. So it's kind of hard to kind of like make a deck to maybe abuse the weaknesses of 2 or 3 of them. You kind of need to be prepared for all of them because you have a high likelihood of finding them. In a similar vein, but somewhat different, the main schemes are also randomized, and these give a variety of different effects that can range from really good to actually like really bad. So the setup, let's talk about the encounter deck. So we have Avalanche, Blob, Pyro, and A, and then our modular sets are Mansion Attack, which is the one it comes with. One that's recommended, or one that has to be used, is the Brotherhood modular set, which has all of them as minions in it. And also our recommended modular set is Mystique, which we play with the recommended mods, but I would wish to not play with this mod set because it's pretty tough. But yeah, we shuffle that up, and as always, we have our obligation here because we're on Rogue today, and the standard and expert sets, which are all going to be shuffled together. So the setup says we put the Save the School environment in play. This essentially decides if we're done with the scenario or not. It has a forced response. After the villain is defeated, if there's X villains underneath, then you have to see the rule book to know the number, which is kind of weird, but it's 3 for expert. The players win the game. If there isn't 3 counters on this, or I guess in the victory display, so counters don't put on, it's just how many are in the victory display, everyone gets dealt an encounter card, and then the next villain is revealed. If we have a minion with the same title as that defeated villain, it leaves play, and then that villain will instantly activate against us, which is no good, pretty scary. So we're shuffling up here. And yeah, they have a variety of mean effects, but we'll go into that more in depth depending on the one that we fight. And also as part of the setup, we shuffle up all of these kind of main scheme cards and put them together underneath. In a similar way how the villain order is randomized, these are randomized too. So this one has these are called, like, I forgot what they're called. They're constant effects or something. Each character has Retaliate 1. Each character gets +1 attack. Each character gains Steady. And then each ally and minion gains Tough. So again, these are pretty different and unique, and we lose if there are 3 main schemes in the victory display. The players lose the game. So we do have a bit of leeway if we don't like one of these to let it pop, but if 3 of them pop, we do end up losing the game. So yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, some of these are really rough, some of them aren't, but again, as always, we'll shuffle this up. And then when this flips over, I'm pretty sure we get dealt an encounter card, and then it just says reveal the next main scheme. Brotherhood strikes. When revealed, each player face an encounter card. Advance to the next card in the main scheme deck. Add this card to the victory display. Hold on. Does this mean if there are 3 main schemes in the victory display, the players lose a game? Okay, never mind. We can only pop one of them because this counts as 1. This would be 2, and then this would be 3 if we were to pop that. So actually, we can only pop 2. I think that's something that I forget when I play this scenario as well. There's a lot of things to keep track of in this scenario. I'm going to try my best to keep on top of it and be focused while playing, but we are going to do what we can do. So as always, I don't think we will shuffle up these decks a little more, and then we will get to the winning attempt where I'm going to have to basically do the villain setup, which is pretty, I guess, pretty new for Marvel Rewind. So we'll shuffle up the deck here, and we're playing Rogue. I'll get into like what Rogue does. She has this touched upgrade that lets her get different effects and traits, and her events change based on what trait she has. She's pretty fun, and I thought it was a really thematic matchup. Her nemesis is Mystique. Mystique's on the card. Mystique is the mod set. Mystique is really involved with the Brotherhood of Mutants, which this scenario is all about. And yeah, I just thought it was really thematic and cool. So let's go ahead and get to the winning attempt. All right, so let's go on this setup for real now. So we put the Save the School environment in play, which is right here. We have to shuffle all copies of main scheme to A. So let's just shuffle up, shuffle up, shuffle up. Let's actually take out some dice and see which one we'll actually put on top here, because that's pretty important. So let's shuffle up 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see which one goes on top. 3 will go on the top. Okay, so this will be the one we start with. All right. So this will go like that. Then what we do is we stack them together under the scheme, shuffle the villains together without looking to create the villain deck. And what is it? It's just create the villain deck. You have to trust me that I'm not looking at the cards on the screen right now. Well, I have to because I dropped one. But you do have to trust me that I'm not looking, shuffling up, and then let's roll the dice. 1, 2, 3, 4 to see which one will go on top. 3. So whichever one 3 is will go on top. I don't know the order of any of them. So for this attempt, we are starting with Blob. He comes in with a tough status, and he says after Blob attacks and damages a character, stun that character with 19 health per player. Pretty beefy, but his stats aren't too bad. So now I think we'll continue this. So we'll flip this over, deal each player face down encounter cards. So we'll do that right now. Then this goes into the victory display, which we will just keep. I guess we can keep it over here. If we need the space, we will take it back. Then we will flip this card over into the cafeteria. So each character has Retaliate 1, which is pretty rough for Blob specifically. He is on the card. It starts at 1 threat per player. And yeah, I guess that's it. We will start readying up and drawing up here. So we have Anna Marie here, Rogue, 11 hit points, 6 health, and 3 recovery. As a setup ability, we set our touched upgrade aside, then withdrawn, force response. After you change to this form, set touched aside. I think at the end of every phase or round, touch comes back to us. As an action, we can attach touch to another character. You gain that character's traits till the end of the round. It's a force response. When the player phase begins, you find touched and set it aside. So our whole thing revolves around this touched upgrade to get these traits and different things that her event cards do to really get her running. We do want some good tempo here. The good thing about this is we didn't start on the steady one, so we can stun him to slow down his tempo a little bit. So maybe we find something like that. Maybe we don't. Let's drop and check it out. Death Focus is good here. 3, 4. Oh yeah, and then all of the Brotherhoods are kind of on her cards too, which is pretty fun. 5 and 6. Okay, so we've got an Avengers here. We got Death Focus, Superpower Adaptation. Honestly, is this like a turn where we just play a bunch of setup? I think so. Maybe we get down the Avengers, and then we also get down our Death Focus upgrade, and maybe we just stay down this turn. Drop an extra card, hope he doesn't scheme out. That might be the play here. Yeah, I like this as a setup turn. Let's keep this hand. I will forego Skilled Investigator right here, so let's spend 4 for Avengers. It's going to come in ready. Let's exhaust it to go ahead and draw us a card. Nick Fury, oof, that's rough. But we will spend 1 resource here to get down our Death Focus because it's really good. We do have X Gene in this deck, so we kind of do want to have, you know, the opportunity. And we are on Justice if that wasn't clear. So we can have an opportunity to maybe lower this threat if he doesn't immediately pop it. But let's see what happens. So we will draw up to 6 cards here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wow, I hit all of my doubles. So I hope we find some, like, maybe a more expensive card off this draw. It's going to go up to 2 here. Blob's going to go ahead and scheme against us for a base of 2, 3. Bring this all the way up to 5. 2 encounter cards here. We've got the first one. Gang up. It will surge because we're alter ego. Master plan. We are going to mill until we find a side scheme here. And put it into play because there are no side schemes. We got Brotherhood, which comes in with 5 per player threat. Each Brotherhood minion gains quick strike. Okay, so threat is definitely getting out of control, but we should have stuff to handle it. We also have the inner circle here. Oh, this should not be in the deck. Okay, I remember I played Brotherhood. Let me just fix this real quick. I remember that I played Brotherhood with... I was wondering why the encounter deck was so big. Yeah, we'll just take these out of the deck real quick. It shouldn't really change that much. Ooh, but it does change the encounter card we get dealt. It was gang up into Master Plan. I don't really know. We're just gonna have to deal with another encounter card. That's a bit of a mess up, but that's fine. Where is that set? We'll just shuffle up and give us a random one. Yeah, I played Hellfire when I played Brotherhood because, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the Mystique scenario, and I forgot to take it out, it seems. Still looking. Yeah, I think these are the last two. Okay, we will just deal ourselves another encounter card here. Technically, it wouldn't be exactly this, but, you know, maybe we get a really bad one, and it makes it worse. Let's see. So, get down one more. Into Homo Superior, attach to a minion otherwise, and give it a tough status, otherwise this card surges. So it's going to surge to Immovable. Blob activates if he's not in play. Okay, so he's going to scheme for a base of 2. So he's going to pop this 5. So when completed, advance, put this in the victory display, and go to the next main scheme. So we are on Basketball Court. Each ally and minion gains tough. That's pretty good for us. And... it's not good for this scenario because there's a ton of minions in it, but it can give us our allies like 2 extra activations, so to say. So I don't mind this. We're at 2 out of 3 main schemes in the victory display, but I think we'll be all right. Okay, let's start off with an Avengers draw here into Jessica Jones. That's not bad. So what do we want to do here? We have... okay. We don't have any of my superpower upgrades or anything like that. We do want to play Mockingbird. It's pretty important we do that, but so how much threat does what's it called? Remove clear the area is removes 2 threat from a scheme. So if we played out Mockingbird and Jessica, so I think we played out Mockingbird for sure. Oh man, I think we have to spend 2 doubles for it because we don't actually have any superpowers in our hand to discount. I don't think we'll be able to play Jessica Jones, but I think that's okay. So let's flip up. Yeah, let's flip up here. I think we will spend Jessica actually for a Mockingbird. Yes, we'll play Mockingbird here. 3 resources. Allies and minions gain toughness, so she's gonna come in with a tough status, which is gonna be pretty decent for us. Let's go ahead and rogue. I guess we can attach touch to the villain here. Yeah, let's just go ahead and say we attach it to them. We're going to thwart for 2, thwart for 1. That's going to break her tough status. That's going to drop this down all the way to 2. And then we will spend a clear the area. We have to overpay for it, which is still rough, but what can you do? Do a clear the area. We'll remove 2 threat from a scheme. If it removes the last threat on the scheme, we can draw cards. Let's go ahead and draw and see what we find. Superpower adaptation. I really don't... yeah, I don't really care for this card. That's fine. We will spend a double. We will also attach under surveillance here, so we'll put it right next to it. I think we're just going to end up discarding superpower adaptation, and we'll just ready up here. So not bad. We are still surviving here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we got Monica Chang here. We do have a clear the area and heroic intuition. Let's see if we can get something going. Okay, this is going to go up to 2. Oh, sorry, he should be stunned right now because there's no steady or anything on the board. So he's stunned, so that's going to break his stun, trying to activate. Encounter card here to Avalanche. Okay, so he comes in, he has a tough on him, which is rough. It says after Avalanche attacks you, exhaust a character you control. Okay, and that's back to us. So, what do we want to do now? We're going to start off with the draw from Avengers, as always, into Quasar. Quasar could be okay. If we want to knock out Avalanche, I just don't think we actually have the damage to do it this turn. Do I flip down against him? The main scheme is at 11. I might actually just flip down here just to find better options for dealing with Avalanche. Oh, and touch comes back to us. What do we want to do here? I think we will do a... Do we even spend clear or do you just thwart it? We do 1, 2, and then have enough to play Monica Chang. We do not. Let's spend Clear the Area. Maybe it finds us something. Let's spend it 2 to drop the main down to 0. Go ahead and draw a card into our jacket. I do like that. If touch is attached to a friendly character, Rogue gets +1 thwart. If it's attached to an enemy, it gets +1 attack. And what do we get on an enemy if it's a minion? Our attacks have overkill. That's pretty good, actually. The question is, do I want Heroic Intuition or would I rather have a Surveillance team? I think we would rather have Surveillance team down. So let's spend these two. Nah, Heroic Intuition's better. Let's spend these two to get down Heroic Intuition. We will spend 1 to get down our jacket here. I think what we will do is we'll deal some damage to Avalanche right here. So let's go ahead and attach touch to him. So now we have 3 attack. Let's have Mockingbird swing for 1 and then break that tough. And then Rogue will swing for 3 onto him. And I think we'll just flip down and hide. Hope we don't get schemed out. Mockingbird should take a consequential here. And ready up. Ally and minion game toughness. Okay, we're doing fine so far. But yes, we do want to flip down. And what happens is force response after we change, we have to set touched aside. And that's back to us. We're drop 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bulletproof Bell going Rogue. We got Gambit. Cool. So go up by 1. Blob's going to scheme for base of 2. Just 2. Really good. Up to 3. Then Avalanche will scheme for 1. Up to 4. Then we have an encounter card here. Brotherhood beat down. For each of the following enemies in play. So Avalanche, we exhaust our identity, which sucks. And Blob, we are stunned. Oof. Okay. Well, we have ways of getting Stalwart. Oh no, that's only from when we touch a hero. So we really don't have any ways to get Stalwart super easily. I think that's okay. That's back to us. We just need an answer for Avalanche, and we should be fine here. I mean, we could play on Daredevil and do it. Maybe a going Rogue after that. Let's start off with an Avengers first. It's going to draw us a card to Superpower Adaptation. Yeah, I really don't want this card. Like, it's good in multiplayer. I've seen it played in multiplayer. It's just not super good for what I'm doing. I do like Gambit as an ally, but I think Daredevil's going to be... when he attacks, remove when charge counter, deal damage to an enemy. No, because we want Daredevil thwart right here. Keep the main in check. So I think we'll spend 4 resources here with this Power of Justice. Even though I don't think I should have access to that art yet. I don't think it super matters for Daredevil. So we'll play Daredevil down. I think that was enough resources, right? Yeah, that was 4. Now we have going Rogue. We could keep Gambit in hand for next turn, which we might end up doing. Oh, Daredevil also has a tough here, which is pretty strong. We get a lot of ally value because of this, but he also gets minion value, so it like evens out. We'll do Daredevil thwart here. That's going to break his tough status, but after he thwarts, we can deal 1 damage to an enemy, so we're going to do 1 to Avalanche. We'll have Mockingbird deal the last to Avalanche here. So Avalanche is defeated. And then how do I get Retaliate again? If I attach it to the villain, I get Retaliate. So I think I want to confuse Blob. So we're probably going Rogue here to confuse him. So let's go ahead and flip up. Let's attach Touch to the villain. Because Touch is on the villain, we gain Retaliate 1. Let's do a Death Focus here for Bulletproof Bell for going Rogue. If we have Retaliate, which we do have, we can confuse an enemy. So we're going to go ahead and remove 3 threat from the scheme and confuse Blob here. Just let us flip back and forth, back and forth. That's the name of the game. And some protection from him scheming out. Okay, we'll keep Gambit in hand here, and I think we'll just ready up. We have a block from Mockingbird, which works out really well for us, and we'll drop 4 more cards. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Okay, so Blob is going to go ahead, step 1 of the villain phase. We're going to add 1 threat here. Bob is going to attack us. We're going to block this with Mockingbird. So it's a base of 2. 5 damage here. Mockingbird will be defeated. And then he has a response after he attacks and damages a character, stun that character, but I think we've stunned him or taken activations on allies, so we're kind of cool on that right now. 1 encounter card here. Toad. After Toad attacks, he comes in with a tough. After Toad attacks and damages the character you control, discard 1 random card from your hand. Alright. So, that's back to us. So we have some stuff we can do here that's actually pretty fun involving Gambit, because it's when Gambit attacks, he deals 1 damage to an enemy, so we can actually break this tough and then have him deal the 2 damage. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. Let me make sure we want to do that though. Attach toad touch to a character other than Rogue and deal 2 damage to that character, heal 2 damage from Rogue, and ready her. So we might be playing... Oh, first let's draw off Avengers. That's the important part. Clear the area. I don't think we want to play that right now. I think what we want to do is we want to play Gambit and then do an energy transfer on Toad here, which I think will be really good. And also break our stun and get us our tempo back in our favor. We move touched back to us now. So I'm going to attack to remove my stun here. I'm going to spend 3 resources in my hand. We'll play down Gambit. He comes in with 3 charge counters on him, which is pretty good. And then when he attacks, we can remove 1 charge counter from him and deal 1 damage to an enemy. Even if I got this timing wrong, the energy transfer will actually do good for us. So we will go ahead and attack with Gambit here. We will use his interrupt to spend a charge counter to deal a damage that'll break the tough, meaning the other 2 damage will go to him. Again, even if we are incorrect on this, because we are spending energy transfer here, so we're attaching touch to a character other than Rogue and deal 2 damage to that character. So we are discounting it from Death Focus because it's a superpower. So we're going to attach touch to him, deal 2 damage. He's going to be defeated. And what does it do on the end? It readies us and heals us for 2 damage, and we gain his trait. So we have the Brotherhood of Mutant trait. But we have this action where now we can actually put it on Blob here, which is pretty good. Let's have Daredevil go ahead and thwart for us here. So let's go ahead and thwart, and then after he thwarts as a response, we can deal damage to an enemy. So we will actually do it to break Blob's tough here. So we can finally start dealing some damage to him. I think we're going to flip down to make use of this Confuse, though. So let's go ahead and swing on him for 2. First damage of the game to Blob, down to 17. And I think we'll just ready up. We'll just ready up here and flip down, ready up, and then draw up to 6. Oh, I guess I shouldn't... I should have attached it to... Oh no, technically it's 3 damage because he had touch attached to him. I would have done that, and then as a force response, it comes back. A lot of things to keep track of. I think we're managing pretty well, though. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, not decking out quite yet. Okay, we did find our X gene, which is really good. Just really good for our economy. Professor X is also great here. Let's see what we can do. 1 threat on the main. He's confused, so that's just going to eat the confused status here. Encounter card, Shadow of the Past. Ooh, that's rough. Okay, we were looking pretty good, and now it's all down the hill again. So she comes in with Toughness and Villainous. My cat is being very vocal right now. Toughness and Villainous here. We're going to shuffle these cards in. After Mystique engages you, search your encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Misled Treachery and shuffle it into your deck. Yeah, well, we are definitely seeing it next turn, which puts 2 threat on the main. And we're going to get these 2 cards and shuffle them in. When defeated, we search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the Misled Treachery and shuffle it into our deck. So we're going to have 2 copies. So he's going to put 4 threat on the main next turn, which is really, really bad. Yeah, this is pretty bad after she engages you. Yeah. Nope. There's a lot of bad stuff going on now. Okay, that tough's gone. This comes in with 2 threat. And I think that's back to us. So, well... Let's go ahead and draw off the Avengers Mansion. We're drawing into Colossus here. Okay, what can we do? So we want to get rid of Mystique for sure. How do we do that? We have a lot of cards in our hand that I'd like to play. I think what we'll start with doing is that we're going to go ahead and thwart with Daredevil here to clear off Mystique's manipulations. When defeated, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the Misled Treachery and shuffle it into your deck. So I'm going to actually have to look up where the Misled goes after you discard it. I'm sure it just stays in my deck, if I had to guess. But, yeah. Okay. So that is shuffled in. So we know the 2 cards in our deck are both the Misled Treachery. And then after he thwarts, we can choose to deal damage to an enemy. We will go ahead and deal it to Mystique here. We're going to have Gambit go ahead and attack Mystique. He's going to use his Interrupt to deal 1 damage and then 2 more from his attack, so 3 total damage to Mystique here. And now we can just use our basic activation when we attach touch to Blob and then hit her for 3. So that's Mystique taken care of. How do we want to set up the rest of this though? So I don't think we want to play Colossus this turn, so for sure I will spend 1 resource. We'll get down X-Gene. Only if we have the mutant trait we can play this card, and now we can discount identity-specific events, generate a wild for identity-specific events, which is really, really good. So if we wanted to go full tempo and build out a Helicare, that'd be really good, and then we could start dealing damage. Oh, we can even stun Blob here, which I think is awesome. I think we will do that. We're spending 3 resources here. Get down a Helicarrier. So we have all the economy in the world. We have basically every single economy piece that I wanted. Let's go ahead and flip up here. Let's attach touch to Blob here. Since it's attached to the villain, I gain retaliate 1. While touch is attached to an enemy character, rogue gets +1 attack. Go ahead, swing for 3. We're going to knock out Mystique here. So she's gone. She doesn't have a force. Yeah, she doesn't have a when defeated or anything like that. So we attack for 3 there. Then what we want to do is we have a discount where we can just play this. So we're going to reduce the cost of the next card in our hand by 1. Goes to 2 costs. This is a superpower. Reduce it to a 1 cost. And then X-Gene will go ahead and play this. We're going to do a Southern Cross on Blob here. And because we have Retaliate, we're dealing 6 damage and stunning that enemy. Super, super good for us here. We're going to get 2 encounter cards, so it should slow down his tempo at least a little bit. And I think we're just going to ready up here. Yep. Ready up, and we're putting a lot of threat on the main here, but hopefully we're okay. I didn't realize how much, but there's not a ton we can really do. Ready up and draw these 2. So force assault. Now this card enters your hand, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So both of them entered, so it's going to go up to 5, then it's going to go up to 6. So it pops at what, 7 plus 4, 11. It's about halfway there. We have to shuffle up and get an encounter card. I really hope we're not hitting a scheme activation. If we do, we might be okay. I would just really rather not. We do have a lot of thwarting, though. We just need to make sure we don't actually scheme out here. Shuffling up. We still need to draw 3 more cards. I need to see where the Misled Treachery goes after you discard it. I'm assuming it's still... Oh, almost dropped my deck. Okay, I'm assuming it's still the discard pile. That was kind of scary. But we'll have to look it up here in a sec, because I don't actually know. All right, that's 3 more cards. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, going rogue is really good if we're trying to remove threat. Blob is going to try and attack us. He can't. He's stunned. Now we have 2 encounter cards here. So the first one, Hopping Mad. Toad activates against you. If he's not in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Toad and reveal him. So Toad should be here, I think. So after Toad attacks and damages a character you control, discard 1 random card. He will have toughness on him. So we got 1 more. Groundswell. Okay, an Avalanche is back. 2, who is also in the discard pile. Okay, this is pretty bad, I would say now, because we don't really have damage in this hand. So we're just going to have to maybe just flip down against these guys, but they're going to be putting a lot of threat on the main. Okay, what can we do? Yeah, we need answers to toughs, it looks like. Okay, so there's a couple things we can actually do. We want good value, He can break a tough, he can break a tough, deal 2 damage, and then I can attach to an enemy and knock out one of them. So it's probably going to be Toad, and then get down a going rogue and thwart. Yeah, we're going to do that. Let's go ahead and thwart for 2. So it says after he thwarts, we'll deal 1 damage to an enemy. Let's drop this down to 4. We'll deal 1 damage, I guess, to Av. No. It's got to be to Toad here. Yeah. We're going to deal 1 damage to Toad, break the tough. We're going to have Gambit go ahead and attack here. Use his last counter to deal a damage, and that means 2 damage is going to go to Avalanche. Both of these allies are defeated. So they will both go in my discard pile here. Cool. Then what we'll do is... I'm looking at this hand. I mean, like, we can spend these for resources. Like, we don't have to use the ones that we have, but I feel like it doesn't really make sense. Oh, Avengers, I didn't even see. That might have changed our turn completely. Clear the area. I mean, yeah, we might just end up playing it. So let's do this. If we're aerial, remove 2 additional threat. If we are, oh wait, yeah, we want to. So let's attach this to Blob here, so we can retaliate. Let's spend our Def Focus and X Gene here for going Rogue. We'll move 3 threat from a scheme and confuse an enemy. Let's go ahead and confuse Blob here. Then what we're going to do is spend 1 resource here for clear the area. Let's go ahead and remove the last threat from the scheme. Remove 2 threat and draw a card. Twist into a Mockingbird. I think we might just end up holding Mockingbird. That might just end up being better because, yeah, we don't have... I mean, we do have the resources for it, but I think the surveillance team low-key might be better. Since touch is attached to an enemy, we'll just swing on Toad here, knock him out. Let's just spend the power of justice here for surveillance team. Man, we're definitely running out of space. Let's put this over here next to our jacket. So this will come in with 3 counters, and hopefully we find Monica Chang so we can get a ton of thwart on the board. And yeah, we will see what the ruling is on the Misled Treachery. If it goes in the encounter deck discard pile, I will... Give me 1 second here. Okay, so we are saved. It actually does turn out that they always go to their owner's discard pile, which is not a rule I kind of knew but wasn't familiar with. So when we discard for end of turn, they will actually be going to the encounter discard pile, so we don't have to deal with them for another deck pass. That being said, we still do want to flip down at the end of the turn here because he's confused. Touch gets unattached from him, and then we will just ready up and draw. I think we'll leave Mockingbird in hand. I love the utility of the stun and whatnot, so just draw up 2, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Awesome. So it's going to go up by 1 for step 1 of the villain phase. He's going to try and scheme. He can't because he's confused. Avalanche is going to scheme for 1. It's going to bring us up to 2 here. And then what are we going to do? We will... this should all be ready. Encounter card. 1 encounter card. Advance. He's going to scheme with the base of 2. 3. If Pyro is this activation, give him an additional boost card. So just 3 total. It's going to go up to 5. And then that's back to us. All right. So we haven't found Monica Chain, so I still want to be greedy on the surveillance team, I think. But even the clear the area might be really good for our economy. We'll have to just see. Let's start off as always. We'll draw for our Avengers here into Jessica Jones. Okay, we probably have too many allies. We don't have the economy to really play that many, in my opinion. Still have not taken damage yet, so we want to flip up. We want to get a stun going for sure. So let's see, how can we figure out this hand? So Professor X might be good to just keep in hand as something for next turn, so that'll be good enough for Mockingbird. Going Rogue is going to go ahead and... Oh, Going Rogue already confuses him, so maybe we don't really care about Professor X right here. Maybe we do try and splurge on Jessica Jones again. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do that because we get 2 allies with tough statuses, which is just really good value here. I do want to spend Going Rogue though, so I can do Helicarrier these 2 for Going Rogue, which will remove 3 threat and confuse him, which is really strong. Then maybe we just hard play Jessica Jones. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. Okay, let's start with the Helicarrier and this double to go ahead and play down Mockingbird. When she enters, we can go ahead and stun an enemy, and she will also get a tough status card on her because of the consistent effect of Basketball Court. Then what we'll do is we'll spend our Def Focus and X Gene here for going... Oh, sorry. We have to attach touch to the enemy, so we'll attach it to Blob. Since it's the villain, we can retaliate. Going Rogue, we're removing 3 threat for a scheme, and if we have retaliate, we will confuse an enemy. So we'll go ahead and confuse Blob. He is all stuck right now. Stuck for sure. Then what we want to do is probably play down Jessica Jones, right? I mean, I'd love to keep the Skilled Investigator again, but we're just going to hard play Jessica here. She's going to come in with a tough. And we're just going to start dealing some damage. So because Rogue Jacket gives us +1 attack when attached to an enemy, we'll go ahead and swing for 3. That's going to knock out Avalanche here. Then we're just going to have both of our allies activate to swing on Blob here. So both of their toughs are going to break. And we're going to go ahead and deal 3 damage total to him, bringing him down to 7 health. I don't think I want to spend the surveillance team counter, so we'll just ready up. And ready up, draw. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Monica Chain is super good here, and so is Southern Cross. We just have really good tempo with another deck pass. We're seeing our allies. Goes up to 3. Blob's going to try and attack us. He can't. He's stunned. 1 encounter card here. Advance. He is also confused. So really good use here. We got to make use of all of our things. And let's go and knock Blob out. Why not? We do want to... Yeah, we just want to knock him out here. So we know both the advances are gone, so I think we're still pretty safe, quote unquote, to flip down. How do we deal the damage? So we will have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can deal 6. Wanaka Chain can swing 7. But then Southern Cross, we don't have any piercing. So maybe we want to do Southern Cross before all of that. Aerial deals 2 additional damage from an enemy. So we can just deal 8 with the Southern Cross, which might just be good enough. First, let's draw off the Avengers here. Let's see what we've got. Going Rogue. I don't know if we really need that. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. If Rogue has aerial, deal 2 more damage. Retaliate, stun that enemy. So the stun would be nice. I just don't think we're going to be able to do that. Maybe we just have Monica Chang block for us and we stay up. That's probably safer. Okay. I guess it really does depend on what enemy that we're facing. Let's go ahead and we get touched back and let's attach it to, I don't know, Mockingbird. So this is attached to an ally. We gain the aerial trait. And now let's do Def Focus, XG, and gosh, I guess we're not playing Energy Transfer. So we'll play Southern Cross. We'll deal 6 damage to an enemy. If Rogue has aerial, it's 2 additional. So we're dealing 8 to Blob. That's going to go ahead and knock him out. So he goes in the victory display. And now what happens is we have Save the School goes off. So it says after a villain is defeated, if there are X villains in the victory display, which has to be 3, the players win the game. Otherwise, deal each player an encounter card and reveal the next villain. So we get dealt an encounter card, and the next villain is out here, which is Toad, who comes in with 16 health. After Toad attacks and damages a character you control, discard 1 card at random from your hand. Pretty bad, all things considered. But we should be able to hopefully get through him pretty quickly in order to mitigate this effect. Okay, so now what we want to do is maybe we keep the Going Rogue in hand if we want to flip down. He does have a really high scheme stat, which is the scary part. But man, I don't know. Like there's extra activations for sure. If he gets a really high boost, we could just lose. I don't think we can afford to flip down. That being said, what can we do? Oh wait, we can confuse it. No, because our touched is on. Hang on. If we kept, we don't have the economy for it. I'm like, if we kept superpower adaptation, we could have moved it to the new villain and then confused him. I think we'll end up keeping Going Rogue in hand just so we can confuse him next turn to flip down for free, quote unquote. Do I want Quasar in hand? The allies are really good for us. I think we'll actually end up keeping 2 cards here. Let's do a Helicarrier in the Power of Justice. Let's get down Monica Chang. She's going to come in with a tough status on her. So let's go ahead. I'm kind of running out of toughs here. I guess I'm about to get another one because we're going to attack and whatnot. But so Monica Chang, after she enters play, we'll search our deck and discard pile for a copy of the Surveillance Team support. I think we want it from our deck, probably. So yeah. And then put it into play. Place 1 Snoop counter on each surveillance team you control. Put it into play, then place 1 Snoop counter. So this is going to go up to 4. This one's going to go up to 4. So we have a ton of threat, mitigation on board. We're pretty safe, all things considered, on threat-wise. Shuffling up our deck here. Like I said, I think we're going to end up keeping these cards in our hand because they're good. Touch is still on Mockingbird, so we have extra thwart here. So we have a thwart stat of 4. So let's just go ahead and clear the main completely. Let's have Monica Chang. I'm not going to turn him sideways. She'll attack and break the tough, which also breaks her tough. And then we'll have Jessica Jones and Mockingbird swing for 3 damage total, bringing Toad down to 13. They're both going to take a consequential. Again, I'm not going to bother resting them because I'm about... it's a table space issue mostly, but yeah. Okay, I think we'll just ready up and draw. Okay. Yeah. So what stat? Since it's on an ally, we have the aerial trait right now. So Toad is going to hit us here, which is really unfortunate, but Monica is probably just going to eat that hit for us. I mean, she has the same amount of activations as, what's it called? Actually, I think we'll just take the damage. I'm not actually sure. Let's drop our hand. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got Colossus. Okay, yeah, we probably do want to just block here because we probably want to play down Colossus or Quasar and then Southern Cross to get out of Toad to start dealing some damage. But let's see, getting ahead of ourselves. So up to 1. Toad's going to go ahead and swing on us. After Toad attacks and damages a character you control. Yeah, so we'll just, let's send Monica Chang in the way. Oh, are we decking out soon? It's probably smarter to do Mockingbird. So let's send Mockingbird in the way. She'll go ahead and defend this for us. So that'll be, this is our encounter card. So that'll be 2, 3, 4 damage. So after Toad, we have to do his response. After he attacks and damages a character, discard 1 card at random from our hand. So we have a couple of good cards, but hopefully he doesn't hit a really good one. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's roll a dice. 6. Okay. Reroll. 2. Okay, so 2 is clear the area. Okay, clear the area is gone. Now we've got 2 encounter cards. First one. Misled. When revealed, shuffle this card into your deck and it surges. Okay, I'll shuffle in a second. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard power for the Brotherhood side scheme and reveal it. Okay. Yeah, so the Brotherhood side scheme is in here. I think this is the one that gives them quick strike. Okay, this comes in with, we're already done dealing the extra encounters, so good thing we get to dodge that for now. It comes in with 5. Another encounter. Hopping Mad. Toad activates against you. If he is not in play, search the encounter deck and discard power for the Toad minion and reveal him. So he's going to activate against us. I think this time we actually do just take the damage here, and I think we'll be okay. Oh, I forgot I need to shuffle this up. Okay, so we do have some threats to deal with once again, but I think we're more than well equipped to deal with it. Okay, that's shuffled up. All right, he's going to activate. We'll just take this damage. That's 2, 3 damage here. 1, 2, 3. First damage of the game, down to 8. And we're going to go ahead and shuffle up our hand and discard. So I don't know where any of these cards are. We're just going to roll a dice once again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side this time. 1. We lose. Southern Cross. That sucks. We really wanted to play that, but I guess going rogue will have to suffice. Okay, that's back to us. So our economy is looking pretty shot here, but good thing we have a lot of resource gens. Let's start off with an Avengers Mansion draw. Super power adaptation. So what I want to do here, I think, is how much damage does Quasar get? He gets 8 damage out of his activations. Colossus still gets 9. So I think Colossus is going to be the thing we go for. Going rogue can be these 2. And then 1, 2, and then 3 for Helicarrier for Colossus. Cool. All right, we still got it. So we want to confuse an enemy for sure. So let's use touch. It comes back to us at the start of the player phase. Let's attach it to Toad here. So we want to confuse him. So we have Retaliate now. We're going to spend our Death Focus and X Gene for going rogue. We're going to remove 3 threat from a scheme. Probably this one. Bring it down to 2. And if we have Retaliate, we can confuse an enemy. So we're going to go ahead and confuse Toad here. Then what we want to do is, I guess Quasar's good value, though. We don't have to spend any of our... we have so many surveillance team counters. Let's go ahead and spend one. Technically, these need ready or exhaust tokens. Let's remove it from here. Sure. Yeah, and let's spend another one. Why not? And remove it from here. And then we will have Monica Chang go ahead and thwart for 1. We'll clear off Brotherhood. So that's gone once again. We'll have... Monica Chang should be at 1 damage? Why did I take that off? Is she at 1 or is she at 2? Ooh, I don't actually remember. Gonna have to look back. We'll swing with Jessica Jones here for 2. Yeah, I will look back on that and then we will see. I don't actually remember. And then we'll spend these 2 and Helicarrier here to play down a Colossus. He comes in with tough. Everyone does, but he already has one. And he only costs 3 because I'm an X-Men character. We'll have him swing for 3 on the Toad here. 1, 2, 3. Down to 8. And let me go double check on Monica's health points because I don't remember. Okay, good to go. Monica did not have any damage on her, so we will just ready up. Draw up. Oh, I didn't activate with Rogue, did I? I don't actually remember. How did I clear the schemes? I did a... go in rogue for 3 threat and a confuse. Both these, 1 from here, 1 from here. Thwart. Okay, yeah, rogue did not activate, so I think swinging on him for 3. If I did end up activating, I hope it doesn't make a difference, but yeah. All right, we are going to flip down to make use of this confuse, and we'll ready up just in case, because we don't really want to deal with him messing with the cards in our hand, in my opinion. So drop 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the Shapeshifter is going to go, or Misled's going to go off. After this card enters your hand, we're going to place 2 threat on the main. Then for step 1 in the villain phase, he's going to add a threat. He's going to try and activate against us. He's confused though, so we'll get rid of that. 1 encounter card here. into Under Siege. One reveal, place 3 threats on the scheme for each Brotherhood of Mutants character in play. We've been keeping good track of those minions, so yeah, really, really good. Only comes in with 3, and that's back to us. So we should have a really good way of getting rid of... Oh man, we don't have actually a ton of cards to play. Double Bulletproof Bell is not good, but I think we should still have more than enough to get Toad to his next phase, into one that isn't going to tax cards from our hand. Let's start off with an Avengers here. Ooh, Nick Fury really does make this spicy. Yeah, for sure we want to play Nick Fury. So we will do this and this. I guess this. Yeah, we'll spend 4 probably for it. So what do we want to do? We want to do anything while we're down. We don't really need to thwart or anything. Nope, we'll just flip up. Oh, touch was supposed to come back to us when we flip down. I keep forgetting it, but okay. We're gonna spend 4 resources here. Oh wait, first we want one of our allies to kind of like blow up, so to say. Let's have let's take 1 off of this, and let's have Jessica Jones just thwart it for 2, and she'll be defeated. Yeah, so Jessica Jones is out of here, and then we will defeat this side scheme. So Under Siege is gone. Then yeah, I think we'll just stay down. Maybe there's something we have to play. Spend 4 resources, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This will go here for Nick Fury. Do we actually want him to draw us cards, or should we just deal some damage? Honestly, I'm really just down with dealing damage, I think. Yeah, with Nick Fury, the coveted second ability here, we're gonna have him come in and deal 4 damage. So it's gonna deal 4 to Toad here, bring him down to 1 health, and we're just gonna have Monica Chang swing for the knockout. Go ahead and knock out Toad. So that's really good. Monica Chang is defeated here before our deck shuffle, so we could find a way back to her if it lasts long enough. So Toad is defeated, so he's gonna go in the victory display. So now we just need to defeat 1 more, and our last one is Avalanche. Toughness victory 2. After he attacks you, exhaust an ally you control. So he comes in with the toughness on him, and it says after the villain is defeated, if there's X villains in the victory display, the players win the game. Otherwise, we get dealt a face down encounter card. So now we have an encounter card to deal with here. Cool. Now what we want to do is, yeah, we flipped up. Oh, we already flipped up, I guess, technically. So let's go ahead and attach touch to Avalanche here. So we have Retaliate on us now, but I don't think that's really going to matter. I think we're going to swing on him anyways. Let's go ahead and swing with Nick Fury. It's going to break his tough, break this tough. Avalanche, has how much? 18 health. So as long as we found like a Southern Cross or something, this should just be pretty easy way to victory, but maybe not. There's been crazier things that happen. Since touch is on an enemy, we have an extra attack here, so we're gonna hit him for 3. 1, 2, 3, down to 15. Then we're gonna have Colossus go in, hit him with another 3. 1, 2, 3. The Haymaker, 12 damage here. And he's gonna take 2 consequential. And then what are we gonna do? We want to keep Bulletproof Bell in hand, I think. So let's go ahead and spend 1 our Helicarrier Superpower Adaptation to get down our 3rd surveillance team. That's basically going off the board right now. Yeah, the 3rd one is down. It's gonna come in with 3 counters. And let's go ahead and just spend the surveillance team because it's kind of like a why not. Yeah, let's just lower the threat on the main. Both these are gonna go to 2. And it's gonna drop this down to 1. We have Bulletproof Bell in hand. And I think we will actually hold it because, yeah, we'll leave Colossus. We'll have him exhaust Nick. And then we'll get a tough status. So we don't really have to worry about it next turn either. We'll see. We'll keep it in hand. Because I haven't actually had a chance to do it. And we can hit him with the Retaliate if he actually hits us. So we're going to ready back up. Drop 4 more cards. 2, 3, and then... All right, we're going to deck out. Oh, so we actually have 3 encounter cards. So this could be pretty rough here, especially if we don't draw into something good because that hand was not looking great. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 more card here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Monica Chang. Okay. I mean, Monica Chang is good. I mean, it buffs all our things, but honestly, we probably need some damage or something. Okay, it's gonna go up to 2 Avalanche. It's gonna go ahead and hit us here. So after he attacks you, we exhaust an ally we control. I think what we'll start with is we will do a Bulletproof Bell, probably just looking at the nature of this hand. So he's gonna hit us with a base of 4. He's gonna get a boost card. We will when an enemy attached to it attacks, prevent all damage, and gain a tough. So yeah, we'll spend X gene, right? Because this is just a resource. And make sure I got the timing right. Yeah. So we're gonna spend Bulletproof Bell. When an enemy with touch attached to it attacks, prevent all damage. We're gonna take 0, whatever that boost is, and we're gonna get a tough. So it's gonna be 4, 5, 6 damage. We prevent all of it, and we get a tough on our identity. Now we have after he attacks, we have to exhaust an ally we control. Honestly, is it Colossus here? No, it has to be Nick Fury. Because Colossus could swing for us next turn. We have 3 cards. That's quite a lot. Start with the first. Brotherhood Beat Down. For the following enemies in play, do one of these effects. Avalanche is exhaust my identity. So we're exhausted here. Next one. Protect the students. Hinder 2 per player. So it comes in with 4. When defeated, player defeated searches their deck and discard power for an ally and adds it to their hand. And then the last one. Pyromaniac. Pyro activates against you. If he's not in play, search the encounter deck. Discard pile for the Pyro minion and reveal him. Well, let's look here. Do we have the Pyro minion? I don't know if we've seen him. I think he is still actually in the deck. Yeah, it looks like he is. Okay. Yeah, here he is. Comes in with a tough status. All right. So we do have a couple things we have to deal with here, but I think we are somewhat well equipped to deal with them. Pyro's in here. He's got a tough. After he attacks, you discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Take 1 indirect for each printed resource card. This way. Yeah. All right. Nick Fury's going to leave at the end of the round. And we've got a Colossus staring down Pyro. Got some threat we want to get rid of too. Actually, we could clear the threat on this and just get another Nick Fury play. That might actually be what we do. No, because we really want Colossus to attack here. This one also lets us ready. So first let's start with the Avengers. Let's see if that changes anything. Going rogue. Confuse, flip down. That's probably pretty good. I think we'll pivot to that then. We will do a def focus here. And 1 resource for superpower adaptation. First we have to attach yeah, we'll attach it to him, so we keep the retaliate. Going rogue. Let's remove 3 threat from a scheme and confuse an enemy. So this will drop down 3. We'll go ahead and confuse Avalanche here. Let's go ahead and spend 1 of our surveillance teams to go ahead and clear this. And when defeated, the player defeated the scheme searches a deck and discard pile for an ally and adds it to their hand. I mean, we could just play Nick Fury. It's not like crazy or anything. Nick Fury to deal damage. Is that the play? Probably not. What ally would we even want to add here? No, we want an ally who's permanent because we do want to knock this guy out. He's probably gonna be a resource anyways. Let's just add. Gosh, what allies do we not really want to see? Oh wait, perhaps our X readies us, meaning we can almost knock out Pyro. Man, we're like a little short on almost everything. It feels like. Energy transfer. We'd like to do that. Honestly, is it Nick Fury and deal damage to just knock out Pyro? I'm not against that. I actually don't mind that much. Yeah. Let's shuffle up because I did search the deck. Let's just grab Nick Fury, why not? And like we could just ignore Pyro. That's very true. Actually, I think we might just do that. Yeah. Let's grab Nick Fury back. I think we're actually just gonna ignore Pyro. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 here for Nick Fury. When he comes in, we'll deal 4 damage to an enemy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dealing 4 damage to Avalanche here. Then what we're gonna do, he comes in with a tough, but we're gonna have 5 damage into Avalanche, leaving him with 3 health. And he doesn't have any like guard or anything, right? So I need to make sure each minion and ally gains toughness, add this card to the victory display, save the school. I don't see any guard here. So I think we're actually fine to do that. Colossus is defeated from consequential. And I think we just lower the main down to 0 and try and go for a win next turn. He has 3 health left. I think so. Let's spend both of our surveillance teams here. Just drop the main all the way down to 0. I think we're going to end up flipping down. It's going to come back to us, and we'll just ready up, draw. Yeah. All right, ready everything up. 6 cards here, looking for some damage. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Gambit is definitely the damage we need. So let's see if we can do it. It's gonna go up to 1. Avalanche is gonna try and scheme against us. He can't. He's confused. Pyro will scheme for 2 to 3. Singular encounter card here. Exhaustion. Oof. Surge and exhaust our identity. That's not great, but I think we're still okay. Oh no. Oh wait. Homo Superior. Attach to a minion and give it a tough status. Otherwise, this card gains surge. Attach minion gets 5 hit points. Okay, let me look up this real quick. I don't know if it surges if it has a tough status on it. Okay. Much like the other ruling, some of these attachments are always weird. Since it can be attached, it's fine. So Pyro has 5 extra health here because of the exhaustion that surged, but he doesn't have guard. I don't see guard anywhere. I hope I'm not missing anything, but this should be the end of the road. At the end of the turn, Nick Fury will leave play, and then this is our hand of cards. We're just one small little interaction away from winning. Let's go ahead and draw off Avengers, see if we find anything. Jessica Jones, I mean, we could get some card draw off Clear the Area. Maybe we find an attack event. We're going to end up flipping up here. Pyro does have a lot of health. Like, that's a pretty scary minion, all things considered. But I think the fact that we got really lucky with this all allies gain toughness, super, super good in this scenario. I think what we'll do is, yeah, we'll just spend 1, clear the area. First we'll command team, and that'll remove it from the board. So we do get to clear up the board a little bit at the end. Then we'll clear the area to draw by removing all the threat. See if we get an attack event. Nope, just the power of justice. Well, that means that maybe we can probably play 2 allies here then, which isn't bad. So we'll go ahead and spend these 3. Go ahead and play down Gambit. He enters play with 3 charge counters on him. And then we will do, Helicarrier and these 3 resources to get down Daredevil, who also has a tough. So these guys both have tough. And yeah, this is it. There's no guard anywhere. Avalanche has 3 health left, so we'll have Gambit go ahead and attack here. Uses when he attacks, remove a counter, deal 1 damage. Then the rest of his attack goes through 2 more damage. Boom. That is awesome. That is Mansion attack defeated. I hope there wasn't a ton of missed triggers or anything like that. But let's go ahead and check out the deck list. Okay, so here we are with the deck list. Now, in this section, we usually talk about the hero, so let's do just that. Rogue versus Brotherhood, Mansion attack. Rogue completely crushed and stomped him. Let's talk about Rogue. So Rogue is really interesting because she's built around this entire touch mechanic that she has, this upgrade that she can move around on the board once per phase or maybe multiple times depending on the event cards you play. If it's attached to a minion, her attacks gain overkill, which never really came up, but it could have. Attached to a villain, she gains retaliate 1. Attached to an ally, she gains the aerial trait. And attached to another hero, she gains stalwart, which is basically impossible to do in solo. And that's why this deck, I'm going to be honest, is probably one of my least inspired decks in the entire series. A lot of what makes Rogue really cool and fun and unique really happens in multiplayer. Her ability to touch other allies on your other players' boards, minions that are in play with them, the other hero to gain stalwart. For example, all of these cards have like a stalwart effect here, which is like draw a card, draw a card. You just can't do any of those in solo. It's just not possible because we don't have another hero to touch, because the skin contact action says attach touch to another character. Now, I might be ranting all this, and if I figure out that you could actually attach touch to yourself, that would be crazy, because that would be a way to get stalwart, but I don't think you can do that. I don't know. I'm not going to look into it. I played it as if you couldn't, so if you guys do know the answer to that, let me know in the comments down below. That being said, I really did like Rogue's jacket. I thought this was awesome, just especially in solo. Bumping up one of her stats to 3 is really good, really cheap, and it always really feels worth getting down on the table. It being 1 costs a big reason why. She has really good events here, and I also really like her ally. She doesn't get discounted like Rogue does in Gambit's kit, but he's really good. 3 cost ally with 2, 2, and 3 health. This is a really good stat line, not even to mention when he attacks, he essentially can do 3 damage. So it's like 3 for 9 damage or 3 for 6 damage in a block. If you have like a team training or some sort of way to heal him, get all the counters out of him, it's just a really good value. I actually did really like Gambit. It was such a good ally. But let's go ahead and talk about the deck proper. Rogue is kind of an event-based character. Her precon was in protection. She comes with the X gene upgrade here, which we'll talk about. She wants to play her events. Her events give her a lot of effects, from dealing more damage or removing more threat. It lets her either stun or confuse an enemy, which, as you saw in a scenario with no steady, was extremely strong in our playthrough. And, Stalwart, as always, draws a card on those events. And, we were leaning into the stuns and confuses pretty heavily here. No Stalwart on anywhere on any of these villains is really good for just lowering their tempo against us, especially because when we defeat them, they get a bit of tempo back by dealing us an extra encounter card when the next one is coming out. They also have pretty nasty effects. Avalanche after he attacks you, regardless if you take damage, an ally gets exhausted. Pyro deals indirect damage to you based on the cards discarded. Then we've got Blob here, who attacks and damages the character. He stuns that character. And then Toad says after he attacks and damages the character, he discards a random card. So these two, they do have to damage you. These two do not. So it's a pretty important distinction why they're split up here. Let's talk about the deck. So for our basic upgrades, and supports, we're on Def Focus, super good, especially for events that all have the superpower trait. X-Gene is very similar to Def Focus in this deck, where you can only play it when you're a mutant trait, so you have to be Alter Ego, but when you get it down, it's just a 1-cost resource generator that generates a wild for an identity-specific event. Really good, really keeps her playing multiple cards a turn. Then we're on the core box Goats. Much like the core box ally Goats, Helicarrier and Avengers Mansion. Avengers Mansion got so much use in this game. We were able to take a stay down turn 1 and be a bit greedy with it. We let him pop the main, but honestly that main scheme wasn't super great anyways. The one that came out was so much better for us because the amount of allies we played. Getting extra activations really helped us swing the tempo in our favor, and we really weren't even getting hit on Rogue because of how much she was like stun and confused locking them. It was kind of like a breeze, and Helicarrier, as always, said discount a card. Really, really good stuff. I feel like all of these cards really did well. Moving on to the basic allies, we're on Mockingbird, Professor X, Nick Fury, and Colossus. So I like to call these two the core box goats, and these two are probably the Mutant Genesis box goats. Since almost every single character we'll be playing in the Mutant Wave is going to be an X-Men, you're going to see a lot of these cards, like a lot of these two specifically. You will also see a lot of these two used, as long as there's no Stalwart or Steady to kind of get rid of Mockingbird's usefulness. These allies are just really good. Nick Fury can draw cards. We actually played him twice that game to just deal damage, because I felt like I didn't need the card draw, which is really fun. I mean, he hits the board, does 4 damage plus 2 more, 6 total, and a block for us. Really, really good. Professor X can ready a mutant, so if I wanted to attack for 3, ready up, attack for 3, I could, or I could confuse the enemy, get a safe flip. We were flipping almost every turn, and Justice is really the only aspect where I feel like can really do that in solo specifically. We were able to take advantage of all the extra economy, get the allies down with the toughs, and really take control of the game. We're on the 3 basic doubles here, Energy, Genius, and Strength. Yeah, there's nothing to say about these. Rogue has high-costed cards. We're also playing high-cost cards in our aspect. It helps us pay for everything we want besides like these 4 right here and some of the 1-cost upgrades. But they're really worth just getting these big allies down, playing our events and whatnot. We're on 2 Power of Justice. Getting into the Justice half, we have the X-Men, or I guess X-Force art here. I'm not sure if we're supposed to have access to this art yet, but wanted to be consistent with the theming here. I guess technically we could have used the Def Focus one in Magneto if we wanted to go all in on that, but I just chose to not do that. Now we're going to go ahead and do, our Justice allies. I had a bit of a brain freeze there. So because, again, I'm trying my hardest to stay to just big box expansions and the hero pack, these are the allies we ended up with. Core box goats, we got Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Pings off some damage when he thwarts. Jessica Jones gets us with thwarting for side schemes, so she's really good for board control. Quasar's from Galaxy, oh no, he's from actually Mad Titan Shadow. When he enters play, we remove 1 threat from each scheme. I don't know if we ever played him, we might have. He's just really good for his stats, especially because of the main scheme we got. Monica Chang is one of my favorite cards in the game, especially when we have some breathing room with Confuses is under surveillance, where you put her on the board, she searches your deck for a copy of Surveillance Team and puts it into play, and then every Surveillance Team on the board gets +1 counter. She just represents so much threat and so much flexible thwarting that can really help. I mean, we got a couple side schemes during that game that had like 5 per player threat, or like 5 threat on them, and that's quite a lot in solo, but we're in Justice, and we had our command teams, and we had our thwart events from our hero kit. We were able to deal with those side schemes very effectively. These 2 cards right here, I would say the reason that this deck isn't very inspired. These are like the solo patch cards, as Albert says in my comment section from time to time. Clear the Air is extremely good in solo. It removes 2 threat from a scheme, and if it removes the last threat, you draw a card. Essentially, it lets you dig for more cards, more options to do, while also being pretty on rate for thwarting. Very, very good card. And also under surveillance, again, we broke our rules a little bit. It was martial prowess in the last week with Hulk. Now we have under surveillance, I think, from Thor this week. This felt like a must in this scenario. A lot of this scenario is a lot of the main pressure I found when I was fighting this scenario in solo specifically is that the main schemes are very low. 7 per player is extremely low, and if you get a double advance or just like a really high boost and then an advance, you can just pop it and you're basically locked out of alter ego. I wanted access to alter ego, so I played under surveillance, and it got a lot of really great use. I'm not sure once we hit the second main scheme if we ever got above 7, but if we did, it was there to prevent us from scheming out. 1 copy of Skilled Investigator. I do know that this scenario tends to have a little bit of side schemes, and it never actually hit the table. A lot of the hands that we saw it in, it just never worked out, but it was there. Heroic Intuition. I think we played this card down and we never basic thwarted the rest of the game. Actually, I think we might have when the villain had it, which kept us with the 3 thwart stat, but this is just in there because I was looking for cards to fill out the deck, and yeah, there's not a ton of options when you limit your cards so much, and we're on 3 copies of Surveillance Team. This was really easy to fill out cards in the deck because we had access to Monica Chang from Sinister Motives, so this was a no-brainer. These are just 2 cost supports coming with 3 counters. You exhaust them, remove a counter, and remove a threat. Monica Chang could, bump up some of their economy if you had them on the board, bump them up by 1 counter, and she puts 1 into play with 4 counters. Super good, super fun, and awesome. That's it. That's the deck list. I think it's pretty basic. Justice, keep the threat low, flip down with under surveillance, get some stunned and confused from the deck, build out a couple of allies, and just go to the races against Brotherhood. Now, let's see where Brotherhood stacks up. Even though I feel like that game was kind of easy and a really good showing, where do they actually stack up with the rest of villains and Marvel Champions? Let's go ahead and see. Okay, so here we are at the tier list. Now let's talk Mansion Attack Brotherhood. This scenario is really interesting. So what we took on today was a pretty strong solo Justice deck to deal with this scenario, and I think it was a really good showcase of, maybe the pitfalls of solo, how you can like game it a little bit with under surveillance and really have pretty easy scenarios, all things considered. But there's a lot of things that go into that, in my opinion. So Mansion Attack, let's talk about a couple of their weaknesses first. There's no steady anywhere in the scenario. There's no stalwart at all. So they are very, very susceptible to being stun and confuse lock. In addition to that, all of the things that really make them unique really only happen in in hero mode. If you are able to flip down with an under surveillance, and some of them have pretty low scheme stats. I think one of them has a scheme stat of 1 even. I think Blob, we started with, has a scheme stat of 1 even on his B side, the expert side. Yeah, you can, a way to kind of like build down and get momentum in the scenarios, you just stay down against them. You don't have to deal with their nasty, when they deal damage to you or when they attack you effects, specifically Toad, who is going to rip cards from your hand based on the number of activations. So there's a couple caveats where they're really susceptible to stun and confuse lock. They're also susceptible to staying flipped down, and the stun and confuse lock does have a bit of an asterisk because this is one of those scenarios which is pretty different every single time you play it. Like at the end of the scenario, you have fought 3 out of the 4 Brotherhood mutants, but which 3 you get is not consistent every time. So maybe you have a bit of an easier slew of villains, maybe a bit of a harder, but I think a lot of the modularity and difference really comes from the main schemes. So there's 4 main schemes you have a chance of finding, and if 2 of them are completed, you lose the game. One of them is give ally and minions tough status cards, which we really abused, I would say, in this last game, to have a ton of tempo, have them consistently activate turn after turn in order to beat down the Brotherhood of Mutants. The first one we had was a really bad one, in my opinion, where every character on the board gets retaliate 1, which meant we would have taken a lot of damage and our allies would have gotten a lot of less uses, because when they bring their own Brotherhood of Mutants minions in, and when we have to swing and deal damage to get rid of those, if you don't get rid of them in 1, we're taking retaliate, our allies are taking retaliate. So that one's actually pretty bad, and I'm low-key glad that we were able to scheme that one out on the first one. One of them, I think, gives every character +1 attack, and the last one gives every character steady, which, yeah, that one is definitely the one that is really rough and tough to deal with. Yeah, but that last one gives them steady, which is something that is really rough, especially in solo to deal with. In multiplayer, I would say the steady one is probably one of the ones that you take a breather on for a little bit, because stuns and confuses going from one player to four player are completely different in terms of value. They will be activating against you in multiplayer no matter what. But in solo, getting a stun or confuse essentially shuts down half of their villain turn, which we were able to use to really great effect because, unironically, it wasn't really a reason I picked it out. It was more of a thematic matchup because Rogue has the Brotherhood of Mutants Mystique as her nemesis, and Sabretooth and Wolverine made more sense that also used the Mystique set, so Brotherhood was a natural fit for Rogue. Turns out she has a lot of stun and confuses in her kits that are really easy to access, so it was really easy for us to just flip back and forth, continually build our board until we got all these allies with tough statuses and we're able to just kind of cruise our way to victory. Some things that make Brotherhood tough is that random factor that they have. There is just a slew of encounter cards or just like a slew of traits and villain on the board that make it really difficult to deal with the scenario. And they do start, I won't say they start with a lot of tempo against you, but it's kind of like this delayed tempo because they always start in expert mode at least. Or no, I think in every mode actually. They always start with an encounter card against you, and whenever you knock out one of the villains, if you're not completing the scenario, they deal you an extra encounter card. So they always have bigger tempo turns, and also they have big minions that get summoned out of the deck through encounter cards. If you don't deal with these minions, I think Brotherhood Beatdown is the treachery. If you want to like ignore the minions because none of them have guard, you can get, kind of blown back for it because they flip that, and if you have like 3 out of the 4 Brotherhood mutants on the board, you're trying to rush the villains down, you're gonna get hit with like 3 or 4 really nasty effects. I don't think the scenario by any means is easy, but I don't think it's anything like crazy like the hardest challenge this game has to offer. There's definitely a really good difficulty level to this scenario. What I'm thinking, at least right now, is it's probably maybe somewhere in the B tier area, but I don't know specifically where. Maybe it's the top of C, but I think that's a bit too low for it. I think it is tough, and especially an expert having to go through 3 villains is something, it does ask a lot of answers of you if you're not playing Justice. They have really low scheme thresholds, so flipping down is really scary, which I think should give them a little bit of points in their favor. So I think when we're looking at Brotherhood here, I could definitely see it being around Sabretooth level. Is it as hard as Sabretooth? I feel like Sabretooth really incentivizes you to rush him, and then I feel like this scenario really incentivizes you not to rush them because of the amount of encounter cards, tempo, and minion they put on the board. So I think, are they harder than Sinister Six? Sinister Six had a ton of surge, but at the end of the day, it is just a thwarting scenario. I think it might be a little weaker than Sinister Six, so maybe harder than Green Goblin. I think this is a fine place for them. I'll have to think on this. I don't think they go in A tier. I'm looking at the villains in A tier, and I think these guys are pretty tough. I mean, S tier definitely not. So I think this is a fine placement for Brotherhood, but what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. What do you think of Rogue? What do you think of the mansion attack scenario? I think it's probably one of the more fun multi-villain scenarios in the game. You can get some really nasty combinations or some really easy ones. It just really depends. But as always, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. That's going to be it for today. We get to the finale of Mutant Genesis. This is really like speeding by, it feels like. Finale of Mutant Genesis next week, where we take on the leader of the Acolytes, the leader of the Brotherhood of Mutants, Magneto, with none other than the leader of the X-Men. Make sure you check it out. It's going to be an awesome match. Leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Goodbye.